This is Dallon from a band called I Don't Know How But They Found Me, and you're listening to the Rock Sound Podcast. Neat.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the all-new Rock Sound Podcast. I'm your host, James Wilson Taylor, and coming up this week, we are continuing to celebrate all the most fearless people in our world on the Rock Sound 50 list. Head right now over to shop.rocksound.tv to pick up covers and bundles featuring the likes of Lights, Taka from 1OK Rock, Awsten Knight of Waterparks, and today's guest, Mr. Dallon Weekes, everybody. Now, Dallon, of course, as I'm sure you know, is a member of the band IDKHow with Ryan Seaman, and since they've established that band, they developed this very, very intricate backstory to the whole project, and are now out on a sell-out US tour with sold-out UK shows still to come, and they've still only put out 3 songs. It's undeniably impressive. It really, really is. We chatted to him a little bit about new music, his inspirations, what's driving him, and he put together this week's mini mixtape, which you can listen to right now on Spotify. More about that a little bit later on. And as if that wasn't enough, other amazing guests lined up this week. We caught up with Biffy Clyro to play a game of Translate the Lyric. They've just, of course, released their acoustic album MTV Unplugged, and now we're going to see if they can identify their own lyrics once we put them through Google Translate into French, into German, into Italian, even into Gaelic, because they're good Scottish boys, so stick around for that one. And we'll be chatting as well with Matt and Jason from Bullet for My Valentine. They've got their new album out called Gravity, and we'll be putting them through their paces in a game of First Time, Last Time, find out about their first musical influences, even their first illegal act, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yes, it's not that controversial, don't worry about it. But before we get to any of that, why don't we check in with one of our cover stars on the Rock Sound 50, Mr. Dallon Weekes. How are you, sir?
Not too shabby. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. You guys are on tour in the States at the minute, I believe. Whereabouts do we find you today?
We had a show in Cleveland last night, and it's the first day off on the tour, so we got a couple things we got to do today, but other than that, it's nice to have a little break.
Nice. Exciting stuff, man, on that tour. Well, congratulations, first of all. Back on the cover of Rock Sound. It's really great to have you there for our Rock Sound 50 issue. As you know, celebrating all the most fearless people in music, and I think you're one of the most appropriate figures for that because everything about your band right now seems fearless, the entire approach to the project. I mean, it's a wide question, but let's start with how on earth did this amazing idea and concept start to come about between you and Ryan?
Well, it just started by wanting to, get some music out of my head and just start to learn how to record and stuff on my own. And as I started to amass a collection of songs, I wanted to start doing them live. And Ryan would come in and lay down drums on these tracks that I was doing, and then started talking about it with him. And he was into the idea of doing, some live shows around town, in secret, not really trying to exploit the bands and the jobs that we already had at the time, but just playing to play, and that's kind of where it started out as.
Nice.
And we enjoyed it so much that we just continued to do it. And as we continued to play in secret like that, it just sort of started to snowball, and people started to pay attention and come out and support the band, It just, the fun grew exponentially, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the interesting element as well, isn't it? That obviously the songs are great, and like you say, it was nice to see a fan base developing around the live shows. But then you've got this other side, which is this mythos, this kind of secretive element. How on earth did you come up with the concept for that? Where did that begin? The idea, you know what? Let's make a history for this band that we can put out there.
Well, good music and good records are great. It's the foundation of what you are if you're a musician and a band and things like that. But I found that the things that people seem to connect with on a deeper level have a little more imagination to them. And in my experience, things like movies and comic books, the things that people become really hardcore fans of are, I guess, world building is a good term for it. A band who is really good at it might have been My Chemical Romance. They would do things like Black Parade or Danger Days. They would build this world and create this, this myth for every record that they were doing. And, I always thought that was a really interesting concept. They understood how to do it. Bands like the Beatles understood how to do it with things like Magical Mystery Tour or Sgt. Pepper's. If you create a space for people's imagination to sort of get up and stretch and wander around, I think it tends to resonate a little bit more.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's such great inspiration points to pick from. They obviously did big theatrical stylings in, like you say, in Black Parade and Sgt. Pepper's and all that stuff. The other interesting thing about those guys is it seemed to get bigger and grow and get more theatrical. Is that how you see the future of IDK here? Do you see it getting more theatrical live? Do you see these kind of themes just growing and growing? Or are you going to try lots of different things moving forward?
Well, I think that stuff is sort of just part of my DNA. I grew up listening to musicals and show tunes, and I still really love, theater and theatricality, things like that. And even, admittedly not being really familiar with the catalog of a band like My Chemical Romance, anything I've ever heard from them is, really great. But I've always really admired their ability to, capture that element and put it in and apply it to a rock band.
Yeah, for sure. It's fascinating touch points with those guys. It really is. We should talk a bit about the release strategy as well, because we've got 3 official tracks that are out there in the world from you guys, and they've all kind of appeared in very different ways. I mean, particularly Nobody Likes the Opening Band. That's really just living by that video and then live clips and stuff. Do you see yourself playing with the release strategy moving forward? Do you see yourself trying maybe some different ways to put music out in the world?
That's something that we'd like to do, just not have any rules moving forward is probably the most important thing on our minds. In the pop music landscape, there seems to be a lot of bullet points that you have to hit, when you make a song or do a release, and ignoring all of those rules and sometimes, having contempt for those rules has been working out for us so far. So we might want to keep that going, yeah.
Yeah, no rules moving forward. That's what we're saying, is it?
Exactly, yeah.
That's exciting to hear, man. It really, really is. We should say congratulations to you as well, because you guys are finally coming over to the UK, which we're really excited about. Immediately had to upgrade that show, and now the upgraded show in the bigger sized venue has also sold out instantly. That's got to be amazing.
We're really excited too, yeah. It's been really overwhelming in a great way. Like, we didn't expect any of that, So for the venue to sell out so quickly and have to be upgraded and then sell out again is really, really overwhelming.
Yeah. What can fans in the UK who've never seen you live, what can they expect from an IDK show? Let's sell this one.
They should expect the unexpected. I mean, we try to not play the same show twice, every night. Give them a little something different every time. Even if we are playing the same songs, we try to switch it up, not just for ourselves to entertain ourselves, but people who come to multiple shows, we try to give them a different experience.
Yeah, it's exciting.
So don't expect too much, I guess, for better or worse.
Let's not sell ourselves short there, Dallon. No, it's
for better or worse, yeah.
Going to be amazing, man. And we should say, just in general, then, what are the big aims for you and Ryan now moving towards the end of this year? Anything is possible, it feels like, with you guys. But do you have any plans you want to hint at before we get to the end of 2018 and beyond?
Yeah, well, our biggest goal is that we want to get physical copies of music out into the world. For the past little while, we've been talking to different, record labels and seeing what our options are. But the decision is close at hand, so it won't be too long before we, get that on paper and we can finally get some music out into the world.
Exciting.
But that's our biggest goal right now.
Great. Watch this space, everybody. Watch this space. As we have said, of course, the Rock Sound 50 is all about the most fearless people in music. So we have been asking everyone as well. You can take this question any way you like, Dallon. What are you afraid of?
What am I afraid of? Oh, man. If I can get really, I don't know. maybe it's too personal. I don't know, but I'm afraid of being away from my family for too long. It's my least favorite thing, and it's the hardest part about touring.
Yeah.
But the biggest reason I do this is to be able to take care of them, doing something that I love. So it's a small price to pay, but it gets hard sometimes. But the fans and the people coming out to the show and supporting us, they make it a whole lot easier.
Dallon Weekes there, and don't forget to head over to shop.rocksound.tv to pick up his cover of the Rock Sound 50 issue, available now, and he'll be back later in the show to put together this week's mini mixtape, so stay tuned for that. But time now for our next guest. It's the lovely lads from Biffy Clyro. They've just put out their new acoustic album, MTV Unplugged, and will be heading out on an acoustic tour later in this year. But we caught up with Simon, James and Ben to play a fun game we call Translate the Lyric. If you've missed it so far, here's how it works. I take some lyrics by the band, they go through Google Translate, and then they have to figure out which of their songs it is. It's a lot of fun, and we've added an extra language for these Scottish lads this week. Gaelic's in there as well, so strap in. Let's see how they got on, shall we? Here now are Simon, James and Ben, a.k.a. Biffy Clyro. I am joined by the one and only Biffy Clyro. Hello, boys.
Hello.
So we're going to play a little game with you now. This is a game we're calling Translate the Lyric. The way it works is I've taken some Biffy Clyro lyrics, I have put them through Google Translate into various languages, and we're going to try and figure out which song they came
Fabulous.
from. Yes, Simon, you're looking very excited.
I'm excited. Do we get to know which language you translated it
I will
through?
tell you, there is a variety of languages. I will tell you which language,
might
and
be
I will
the
do my
kicker.
best to do terrible pronunciations as well. That's going to be the thing that's going to really
Mandarin's a
throw
little
you.
rusty right now, so see what happens.
No Mandarin, it's
Okay,
fine. We
yeah.
dodged that one. All right, we're going to start off with some Italian boys. And by the way, I'm going to apologize in advance to any Italian listeners because I'm going to butcher this. But here's what we've got written down. Hai tutti queste grandi risposte a tutti queste grandi domande. Hai tutti queste grandi risposte a tutti queste grandi domande.
It's tutti, everyone.
Everyone, isn't it? We've done this.
Yeah, everyone.
Everyone. What lyric you see? Now I'm everyone.
Oh, it's not now I'm everyone. I'll allow you have to another guess.
Everyone,
Another guess.
it's all. What could that be? All.
Tutte queste. Queste, I think, is the word we're going to look
Queste.
for.
What?
Queste.
Must be like
Oh,
what? Like French.
I've got nothing.
What's grande is
Big.
what would you, big. It could also
Large.
be.
I'm a mountain.
No.
This is
Tutte queste grandi risposte. You have all these great answers to all these great questions.
Now that you say it.
Now you see
Now I
it.
say it, and I'm not butchering it.
Prego.
There it is.
Yeah,
All right.
shit, I thought that'd be easier.
Jesus.
I'm really disappointed now.
I think there'll be a couple you get, but I'll be honest, I've made this fucking hard. But that's fine. We'll do French next, boys. How's your French? How's your French?
C'est pas mal.
Okay, we'll see how we get on. I did a bit at school, we'll see how we do. Je ne veux plus perdre de temps. Le temps est ce que nous n'avons pas.
See that shit,
I
but
don't have
so
Some
time.
rain.
That's
Je
animal
ne
style, isn't
veux plus
it?
perdre de temps. Le temps est ce que nous n'avons pas.
N'avons pas. Have. Never have.
Never have time.
Yeah.
Talking about time, no
Don't have. Something about time. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Time and don't have. It's almost like we're halfway there, boys.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man.
I'm getting, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm getting
Why
nothing.
did
This
you
is-
waste your time? No. Animal style.
you've got
Jesus,
you've
medicine
got-
is medicine. Is it? No.
Boys, you've
Why
basically
do-
said the whole
Why
lyric
do
and
we
you're
have
not there.
you around?
Oh, right.
Something about wasting no more time.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
And
waste no
time's
more
time
what we don't have.
Ah,
Yeah, but
that's
that's
a problem because everything died.
It's alright. It's not like it's been the set list for a decade or anything. It's fine.
Blood out of stone there. man.
This is never going to get shown. Never going to get shown.
Okay, this one I think we've got a shot at. All right, this isn't German. How's your German? How's your German?
Sehr gut.
Sehr gut, danke.
All right, okay. Ich bin ein Berg. Ich bin
Hey, ich bin ein Berg.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah.
Mountains.
It's
Mountains.
mountains. We have a point.
We got
We
one.
have a successful point. Very good. Let's go with Spanish, shall we? How's your Spanish?
Worse than our French and German, so
Yeah,
there's fucking no chance.
Again, I'm just apologising for the accents. I feel like this is it's awful. Right, okay. Pero hay una rana negra está proyectando sombra y mentiras. Goteo, goteo, Goteo.
Oh, right. That,
Goteo.
right, that's got to be the clue. I mean, I don't know what that word is, but what do you repeat 4 times?
It's four times. What do you repeat 4 times?
All right, I thought you knew.
No, I
All
don't.
right.
I don't. I'm just that's where
That's
we're gonna
a
get
great
it, though.
strategy from James there.
I
What do you
mean,
repeat 4 times?
No.
Goteo, 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 goteo. The word negra might be of use
That's
here
black.
as well. That is black.
That is black. Black chandelier.
Yeah.
Could it be black chandelier? And what word do you say 4 times in black chandelier?
Drip.
Hey,
Drip,
there we
drip.
go.
Yes!
Fun Spanish
Come
facts
on.
fans. Goteo is drip.
The guy at that window over there just gave me the signal. He just went black chandelier.
Right, this is the last one.
This is a
and
good
it's
game.
good.
Incredibly
It's fun,
embarrassing.
right?
Incredible.
How's your Gaelic?
Pokemon.
Patrick Post.
Patrick Post.
Patrick
I
Post.
don't even remember the next line. There we go. But it's there. All right. I'm not actually. How is your Gaelic? Genuinely, do you want to try and pronounce
I'll
it?
try.
I'm
Terrible.
going to cover the answer. This is
Oh
Simon
my
Neal.
God.
Have a go.
It's in my...
No, there's
That's impossible.
Is sin something.
Marichin.
Madetian a gemhecht.
Well
I'm going to go
done.
with that. Is sin
Something. No, I've no idea.
Any ideas?
wow.
Is sin
Something without-
Madheiden. It is basically we are the wolves of winter. That's what that means, right there. There we go.
That is some. So, of course, right.
You were saying it wrong. You were
I'm
saying
so
it wrong.
sorry.
Sorry,
It was
it's
my
pronunciation.
fault we failed. I'm
Pigeon
gonna
Gaelic.
count that as what? Is it pigeon Gaelic?
Yeah,
That's so true.
I tell you, we're lucky to get one there, man.
That's
Oh,
true. I'm going to give you 2. I'll give you Black Chandelier, and I'll give you Mountains, definitely.
Okay, we
Yeah,
should have
maybe
known the
2.5.
French. We should have known the French one. That's
know.
disappointing.
Yeah.
That's just higher French and higher German.
What did you get on higher French, though?
I
Simon?
get B.
You got a B on
I
higher
got
French.
B.
Fair play to
Apparently
you,
it's
man.
just slipped out my brain since then.
Fair enough.
That was fun, James.
Well, boys, well done. Yeah, 2. Biffy Clyro there, and if you want to see our full interview with the boys, head over to the YouTube channel right now. That's youtube.com/Rock Sound Magazine to get all the details on their new acoustic album, as well as their upcoming film project, Balance Not Symmetry. All fascinating stuff. Go check that out. Right, still to come, Dallon Weekes will be back putting together this week's mini mixtape for us. But before we get to that, it's time to catch up with the lads from Bullet for My Valentine, aka Matt and Jason. We put them through their paces in a game of First Time Last Time, so be prepared to hear about their first musical influences and their first kisses and their most recent kisses and the last time they did something illegal. We really go in with the questions this week. It's a lot of fun. So here we are, without any further ado, from Bullet for My Valentine. It's Matt and Jason. Let's start off nice and easy with the first album you ever bought and the most recent album you ever bought or are streaming, because it's 2018.
Oh God, I think Among the Living by Anthrax was the first one I bought,
Nice.
and the last album I bought was a long time ago.
Yeah,
I
what
stream everything.
I was going to say, what are you listening to streaming wise now? I will allow a streaming answer for the most recent
So
one.
eclectic, you know. I mean, I listen to a drum and bass band called Bad Company UK because I like that kind of high energy music. The latest Foo Fighters album, I love that.
Great
After seeing them live, you know, one of the best bands I've seen live for a long time.
Yeah, amazing record. How about yourself?
First album I ever bought was Metallica's Black Album. So yeah, had obviously a massive impact on my life. Last album I bought, honestly can't remember because it's been a while since I bought a record, as it is 2018, as you said.
Very
but
true.
I've been streaming Churches a lot lately.
Oh, that's a great record, isn't
Yeah,
it? That's
yeah.
a really cracking little album.
Yeah, I'm just slowly still discovering new music, you know, and Churches is one of my favourites right now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, let's do gig next. What was the first gig you ever went to, and the most recent gig you went to that you weren't on the bill for, please?
Oh, God.
Well, okay, officially the first gig I went to was probably when I was about 6 with my mum to see Gene Pitney at the Birmingham Hippodrome.
Wow.
But I'm not into Gene Pitney anymore. He's a sellout now, you know. I'm not into last gig I went to was Def Leppard at the Albert Hall.
Oh, cool.
And it was great because I could sing Let's Get the Rock Out of Here without feeling like a wanker.
Yeah, man.
Very good. All right, first gig.
First gig I ever went to was Meatloaf at Cardiff Motorpoint Arena.
Brilliant.
Great show. It was my first experience of live music, and it was Meatloaf in an arena.
Yeah.
So I can imagine it was pretty.
That's a pretty
big
high
deal.
standard to start with as well. That's a show.
Super high
right there.
production, super slick show, super amazing sound.
Ace.
Last gig I went to, I honestly can't remember. I don't honestly. You know what? Our life is such a blur that I can't even remember the last gig I went to, which I wasn't part of.
I'll tell you what that I'll allow then. What was the last band you remember watching, like at a festival or something? Who have you checked out at a festival recently?
The last band. Well, it's the one that it's not the last band I've seen probably, but the most memorable in the last 12 months was Muse at Reading.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they always put on a show, don't they?
What a night, man. I was completely off my rocker as well. I let my hair down and partied hard with my friends and watched Muse, and it was just the most amazing night ever.
Fantastic.
They're one of my favourite bands, anyways.
Oh, yeah, they're fantastic. Always have been. Let's go with first song you ever learned to play and the most recent song by somebody else you learned to play. Yeah, big questions. Questions here, Jason.
I guess it was Ride the Lightning by Metallica. Pretty close with Hot for Teacher by Van Halen.
Ah, okay.
And the last song I learned to play?
I know, it's always a tricky one, but have you ever heard anything recently and gone, oh, I wonder how that goes? Just sit there, figure it out for yourself?
Well, funny enough, Hot for Teacher again.
Oh, okay.
Cop out answer, man. That's bullshit. You liar.
All right.
Let me have a think. Questions so get some to me.
What was I jamming the other day? Some new Bullet songs.
Yeah, that so doesn't count.
But
We'll
does it?
just
Cop-out
move
as well.
on. That is a
That's
cop
such a
out
cop-out,
in the
man.
biggest way. All right, come on. First song you ever... Massive cop out. We'll just have to move on. First song you ever learned to play, man?
Well, there was multiple bits of songs.
Okay.
I learned to play guitar just by putting on Metallica records.
Yeah.
So I just picked up things that made sense with the sound of guitar as I was hitting certain notes during that certain song.
Right, okay.
So
any
took me,
particular ones you can remember? Is it the Black Album again? We're talking...
Yeah, and I went in reverse. I got into Metallica because of the Black Album, and
Sure.
then went backwards, basically. But I think one of the first songs I learned to play all the way through of them was Welcome Home Sanitarium.
Right, cool.
So yeah, the last one I learned to play, it was probably... I think it's called, is it Someone Like You, Kings of Leon? Someone Like You.
You Somebody. Yeah,
You Somebody,
that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I've been messing around on acoustic a lot lately and just kind of figuring out just cool stuff to play.
Man, that would sound good if we got a really nice heavy cover from you guys of You Somebody.
Yeah,
that's what to
absolutely.
think of for the future. I like that a lot. All right, let's do slightly stupider ones to finish. Let's do first and most recent kiss. How about that? Let's do that. First kiss,
We're
most
talking
recent
romantic kiss, I'm assuming.
You can interpret it however
So
you
I'm
would
assuming my mum would have been my first kiss.
Oh,
if that was the case.
Okay, that's very true. There is an inherent flaw in the question
Yeah.
if that's what you're going with. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, first kiss you can actually remember then, I suppose. Can you remember your mum first? Or?
God.
I know, it's tricky.
Ooh.
You don't have to name names, by the way. We can just have a vague summation.
Yeah, I can remember. It was, when I was obviously a teenager, all the usual cliches, and it just tasted of fags, if I remember right. And kind of put me as a tongue and some
Lovely.
cigarette smoke involved.
Lovely.
Female.
I think we've all been there.
And last kiss?
Last kiss was my mum because it was her birthday the other day.
Oh, bless. Very sweet.
No,
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jason's mum. There we
Happy
go.
birthday, Mum, for
There
the
we
other
go.
day.
Let's go with the romantic route. I think it was a girl called Michelle,
Okay.
who I was in school with. I think I was 13 at the time. We went to a disco, and we ended up necking, as we call it in Wales.
Michelle.
Yeah, necking Michelle.
Sup, Michelle? If you're watching this, he remembers.
Look
Don't
what
worry.
you could have won.
All right, most recent.
The most recent was when I was in Wales 2 days ago, visit my parents, and it was my mum as we said goodbye.
This is what good boys. Very, very
love our
sweet.
mums.
Very
Absolutely.
sweet. Loving their mums. All right, last one, and I will say, don't incriminate yourselves, obviously, but this is the first time you did something illegal and the most recent time you did something illegal. And bear in mind, the interpretation can be, we've had people say, like, I used hairspray in boots instead of buying it. It can be as innocuous as that.
Okay.
So, yeah, have a think.
First time would be probably when I was about proper illegal. Would probably be doing some shoplifting in Woolies when I was about 10.
I
Good
see.
old shoplifting.
What did you go for?
Pick and mix.
Of course it's pick and mix.
You know, you
of
just put a
course
couple
it
in
is.
your mouth and a couple in your pocket, and then
Yeah, smart move.
you weigh half of it and you eat the rest on the way to the till. You know.
Like that's a system. That's a full pick and mix shoplifting
It doesn't
system.
feel illegal, but it feels right, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does feel right.
Because,
that one.
And it's the most delicious way of breaking the law.
It's very true.
And the last time would be again on the Wales trip when I was doing over the speed limit in my car.
Well, briefly, I hope. Briefly.
Yeah, like 71, like
Okay,
tops.
okay. That's all right. That's
Like-
more than acceptable. More than acceptable. No, I mean not, but you know what I mean. We got it. All right,
First
come on,
one
Jason.
I did something illegal was I was about 8, and my mother had told me off for something, and I took a 6-inch nail and stabbed all the tyres in her Mini. And I only told her recently.
Well, we've gone from pick and mix to stabbing tyres in the space of one.
Away with it.
Yeah, man.
That's actually evil.
Yeah, it was.
That's full on.
You
Like,
know.
I have flumps and you have nails in tyres.
Yeah.
That's just not the same, is it?
Yeah, not quite the same level, not quite the same. All right, most recent then, most recent.
I think it was just something really tame comparatively, like in a restaurant in America, and I didn't pay for the coffee.
Ah, yeah.
Rubbish, really.
Well, if they didn't bill you, it's not your fault.
Well,
there you
that's
go.
You know, they didn't ask, so.
Yeah, there you go. Stroll on out. Thanks very much for chatting to us,
Thank
boys.
you.
All right, Matt and Jason. Matt and Jason there from Bullet for My Valentine. Like I say, the new album Gravity is out right now, and if you want to see our full interview about it, head over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rock Sound Magazine. Right, almost time for us to wrap up for another week, but before we do, it's time for the mini mixtape. Dallon Weekes has put together some wonderful musical choices that you can go and listen to right now over on Spotify. Just search for Rock Sound on Spotify and hit subscribe on the playlist mini mixtape. It'll be changing every week as a new guest comes in and makes their very, very clever choices. Right, let's see what he picked out for us, shall we? Here, once again, is Dallon Weekes. We want to wrap things up, man, with a thing we've been doing now called the mini mixtape on the podcast. So the way this works is I'll fire out a few questions and you just have to pick a song to fit your answer, and then we're going to put that in a mini little playlist that people can listen to on Spotify for the next week, which is very exciting. So the first one, which is hopefully quite an easy one for you, we'll see. What is the song that you would pick to do at karaoke, Dallon?
Oh, man. I think the first one that comes to mind is maybe Young Americans by David Bowie. I'd probably pick that one.
That is a fantastic song, actually. That's a great, great choice. Are you much of a karaoke? Are you a karaoke fan at all?
You know, I've been a few times, and I've never busted that one out. You know, it's just the first thing that came to mind when he asked me that question. So I guess if we were going to karaoke right now, I'd be rocking that one.
Maybe when you're in the UK, we can sort that out.
Yeah.
Find a place that specializes in Bowie. It'll be good. Next up, what's the song that would get you straight on the dance floor?
Oh, man. Play anything by Sparks, and I'm out there. I know it's not a traditional, dance club song, but, man, every time I listen to those guys, I just gotta get up.
Yeah, This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us, something like that?
BC, something like that.
Cool.
Something for the Girl with Everything, all that stuff.
Fantastic. Nice choices, nice choices. Next up, you're having a summer barbecue. Picture this. You're having a big summer barbecue. What's the song you put on in the background while everyone's having a good time?
For some reason, I'm thinking Springsteen. Something by Springsteen. Maybe like Born to Run or, things off on the road like that.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, as the evening progresses, and I'm thinking about this more, I'm thinking more like old jazz standards or stuff like the Ink Spots. Something like that would be really chill.
Oh, lovely. Are you a big jazz fan, Dallon? Have you got a bit of jazz?
Yeah, older stuff. You go back to, the 30s and 40s, I like a lot of that sort of music. But the Ink Spots are probably one of my favorites.
Very cool, very cool. All right, next up, what's your kind of workout song? If you're heading to the gym, what are you playing on the treadmill?
My favorite thing to work out to is Foxy Shazam's self-titled record.
Wow.
It opens up with Bombs Away. It's such a good song to, get the heartbeat going, heart rate up. Nice.
All right, that sounds good. I'm going to try that out at the gym next time. Let's try your favorite bass line. If you have, what's a song that would make you do air bass?
Oh man, well, maybe not bass line, but certainly bass tone. There's a band from the 2000s called I'm a Robot. Really, really underrated band who put out an awesome self-titled record. And there's a song on there called 12 Equals 3 that's got this bridge breakdown where everything drops away except for the bass, and for me it's the holy grail of bass tone. Like every time I try to find a tone, I'm chasing down that. So if you're ever curious to listen to it, 12 Equals 3 by I'm a Robot. So good.
Wow. All right. Well, we're checking that one out. And the last one, and this is the hardest one. This has stumped quite a few people so far, but it's a great question, I think. Yeah, here we go. Strap in.
See, I'm already nervous because the barbecue went through me really well. I was like, thinking about the cook part first and then chill later. So
Well, this is going to get intense then. So imagine that in, however many years' time, it's the Dallon Weekes story in a film theatre, in a movie theatre. It's the movie of your life.
Night Heat.
That's it.
That's going to be titled Night Heat, the Dallon Weekes story.
Coming soon to a theatre near you. But we get to the end credits. What song do you want playing over the end credits of the story of your life?
Oh, man, I feel like I've thought about this before. But I think what comes to mind is Life's a Gas by T-Rex.
Ooh, yeah.
That would be happen while the credits start to roll.
Yeah, man, title very appropriate. That's a great shout. I like that a lot. Nice. Well, thanks for that, Dallon. That's a great little mini mixtape. People can listen to that on Spotify now. I encourage you to go and listen to that. Mate, it's always really, really nice to talk to you. Congratulations again. Give our love to Ryan, and we'll see you guys in August in the UK. Very exciting, man.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
No problem. Dallon Weekes, everybody. What a mix. What an incredible playlist that is. And you can listen to it right now for the next week over on Rock Sound Spotify page. Go and search for Rock Sound on Spotify. Click subscribe on the mini mixtape and hear all those choices. That's about it for this week, guys. Thanks once again to my guests, Dallon Weekes from IDKHow, Biffy Clyro, and Bullet for my Valentine. And don't forget, go on now to shop.rocksound.tv and pick up all those covers featuring Dallon, featuring Lights, Awsten Knight of Waterparks, and Taka from 1OK Rock. I have been James Wilson Taylor. Go and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, and we will see you again next week.